Our fellow traders, welcome to another edition of Rollin With Ed. I hope everybody had a great week. It was an awesome week in the market for me, especially short sellers. Somehow throughout this journey, I morphed into a short seller versus just trading long every trade. I do trade long when the market gives me opportunities, but it's just so easy when the market's selling off to make money. It's easier for stocks to go down than up. But enjoying it. I don't think technically, following the S&P 500 and a generally accepted definition of a bear market is once the market gets 20% below its peak. Now, the S&P 500, we're at about 18%. I know the NASDAQ eclipsed the 20%, so they're saying that, the NASDAQ is in a bear market. Eventually, all of us, all of the indices are going to kind of correlate and, get there. But we're in a really solid correction, and this is exactly what the market needed. Really needs these corrections to happen. It builds resiliency, and that is what helps the market sustain itself and keeps it from actually just falling on its face. But it's just like our economy. Our economy is strong, but look at the hits that's coming with the federal government and all of the stuff that the present the present administration has on us. It's a lot of stuff. It should be wrecking the economy, but it's resilient. It came out of that 2008 debacle, and they said back then that they didn't care who got elected president, that it was going to take 10 years before anything. It was going to take 10 years before the market really got back to strength. And so it's been 10 years. It actually took 10 years. And it's not one president, one administration. It took everybody working together. Everybody across the board to get us to where we are. And that's what makes this country great. I don't care what side of the ball you're on. It doesn't matter. What matters is in the end, everybody comes together and we make it work. And that's what I'm about. And that's why we're strong. That's why the economy is resilient. And it's taking these Fed rate hikes and chewing them up and spitting them out right now. I know the Fed is saying they want to raise rates another 2 or 3 times within the next year. The economy is going to chew them up and spit them out. As long as nothing really wrecks it. Even with these tariffs. It's going to take a while to get this figured out. But guess what? Life keeps going on. People are going to continue to buy and sell the same goods. They may not make as much profit, but they're going to weather the storm just like everybody else. Just like we're weathering the storm in the market. So, we're going to keep watching. The government shutdown is, got some uncertainty in there. Still the trade deal, the Fed and what they're doing. All of these things are causing, some panic. But the more experienced traders, the big money traders, know how to handle this. They know that the market's going to go through these things. And the smart move is to sit back and just make money off of these, and make money off of these guys that are panicking, that are moving around, that are overreacting. That's how we make money in the market. And, we talked about this morning with the big money they're going to be first in the market. That's how they make money. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Margin Call. If you haven't, watch it. It tells you exactly how big money thinks. And when I saw that movie, it clicked. It clicked with what my mentor was telling me. The guy that, you know, retired, he was a retired hedge fund manager, investment bank manager, and everything that he was telling me clicked. You know, in that movie, they had to be first in order to make money, and they made money off of people's insecurities. You know, even when they started that fire sale and people knew what was going on, they were panicky, and they were like, shoot, you know, something's, let me get a piece of this some kind of way. But they got in on the wrong side. You need to be on the side that big money is on. And that's why with the NKE earnings trade this past week, it's what I was trying to explain to you guys. Once you know what big money is doing, when you can sit back and watch and use the technicals on the chart to determine what big money is doing. You know, they're selling this stuff off going into the earnings. But you see from the company filings and what's going on within the company that it's strong and it's probably going to report good earnings. All they were doing is selling it off so that they can buy it cheap. And when it pops on earnings, they're selling into us. So guess what I did? I bought when big money was buying. Okay, I bought it early and waited to sell into you guys that are going to buy it on the pop. I waited and sold into the strength. So when you guys are sitting there buying it on the pop, looking for it to go up another couple of points, I've already got my multiple points already sitting down, closed out, gone to lunch, and you guys are sitting there trying to catch the move. It's already done. That's how big money works. And that's what I've been trying to teach you guys in that strategy. In all my strategies. Everything I teach, I trade every day live in front of you guys. I'm not trading any, and you can see it. I'm not trading anything that you're not trading. I'm not getting in before you and then telling you to get in so that I can sell into you. I'm doing it all with you, but we are trading on the same side that big money is trading on. Or if we're on the opposite side, we're getting out when we know we need to get out. There is a way to make money being on the opposite side of these guys, but you got to know when they're going to bail. You got to know when to read it and determine when it's time to get out. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. And that's why I have to stream live in real time so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Some things you just can't explain on a dead chart. You just can't do it. You have to be there live and watching it happen. So, you know, I'm ranting on. I hadn't even got to the question yet. I don't want to run out of time and don't answer the question, because the question today is very, very important. You know, I got this question from a guy that was looking to be a member, and he asked me, and here was the question. The question was, why do most of your students fail at day trading? So of course, I'm gonna look at the question, and I saw why, and I saw most day traders fail. Okay, I didn't read in between the lines. So of course, I sent the generic answer, which was lack of education. You know, most day traders fail because they do not get properly educated. And I sent it, and he sent me a nice little reply back saying, please read my question thoroughly. I didn't ask you why most day traders fail. I asked you why most of your students fail at day trading. And I was like, oh shit, that's a good question. I hadn't even thought about that. And it made me feel even worse, because being a teacher in the classroom, that's how I got better. Was I consistently stayed in tune with my students to find out what were their challenges, what were the struggles, so that I could get better and I could help them succeed. And that was the secret to me, my students. Whenever we competed against other schools in the state, in the region, we consistently finished on top. And it was because we had that process in place where I was consistently trying to ask them and try to understand, why are you failing at this? Why are you not getting it? So I couldn't answer the question right then, and I'm sorry it's taking me so long to answer your question. But I had to do, some interviews. I had to do some case studies. I had to find out why the students that gave up or are not here anymore, why do they feel they were successful? And it was really interesting, but it all centered around two things, and two things that kind of work hand in hand, that I actually ask everybody to accept when they first start learning how to day trade. Number one, accepting the fact that your success in trading is not going to happen when you want it to happen. Okay, you can't put in 1,000 hours in 3 months and expect to be there if other elements aren't right. There's a human element to it. There's an element that you are responsible for. And that leads into the second reason, is that your failure to accept the fact that you're responsible for everything and anything that happens in your trading, regardless of whether it's a computer issue, if it's an internet issue, if it's a broker issue. It doesn't matter. You chose those things. If you knew your internet was crappy and you chose to trade, then you're responsible. It's not the internet. If your computer was crappy and you chose to trade and your computer crashes, it's not your computer. If you chose a broker and you failed to learn how to work within that broker, and I did a whole video on that before, then it's your fault. Okay, you're ultimately responsible for your success. And if you're not willing to accept that, then God help you, do not trade. Don't even think about becoming a trader, because it takes a high level of personal responsibility. And that's why most of the traders that I work with fail. Number one, they didn't accept responsibility. And number two, they had unrealistic expectations about when they were going to be successful. And I mean, it was just as clear as day. Clear as day. And I know I did a good job, because I had a few guys who actually told me, Ed, I listened to you and I realized that I just didn't have what it took. I didn't have the ability to be disciplined and be patient. I just wanted things too fast, and I needed to slow down and try to get things back in order. That made me realize that, hey, I am teaching the right things. It's just that maybe I'm not reaching everybody I need to reach, and I need to change some things around. And that's what I'm going to be working on. But let me say this. These guys that do polls and show you polls in their chat room about how many people are trading consistently profitable, or how many traded profitably on this one trade. Look, you can't believe that. Okay, I was in the chat room did that. I know you cannot believe that, because 80% of these guys are on a simulator, and you can trade profitably on a simulator relatively easily. But when you try to do it day in and day out in a live account, it doesn't happen. It doesn't translate. And that 80% will turn around and it will flip, into where you only have maybe 10 to 20% of the people in your chat room or your community actually trading profitably in a live account. So that's why I don't do that stuff, because I know the results will be skewed. You know, I got to see real tangible results for me to believe anything or to stand behind anything. Okay, I've explained that to you, so you guys know where I stand on that, and which is another reason why I do everything live in front of you, because I don't want you to believe a damn thing I say. I want you to believe what you see. That's what it boils down to. But what I want you guys to really understand, everybody that's learning how to trade, I don't care if you're learning from me or you're learning from anybody, or you're watching free videos on YouTube, it doesn't matter. Until you're able to take personal responsibility for everything that happens to you in your trading, and you're able to accept the fact that your trading is not going to take off when you want it to, that it's going to take time, you're going to have to develop a process, and you're going to have to build you. It's going to be hard for you to be successful, and very hard for you to build up that resiliency that you're going to need to continue to grow. So I really want you guys to understand that. Hopefully I got my point across today. This is really important. I'm really, really thankful that I got that question. And I'm really thankful that he came back at me and say, look, read my question, because you're not paying attention. And, you know, sometimes it takes that. And I'm one of the very few people that will accept it, that will accept criticism like that. That's why I started my video when I did back in 2015. I wanted people to tell me if I was full of, you know what the way I was thinking, or does this trading even make sense? You know, I was looking for feedback. So I always take positive feedback. You know, somebody texted me or sent me an email this week and said, you know, I noticed that every video you do now, so you used to didn't get any dislikes, now you get one dislike. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't really pay attention to that. I could care less. What I look for are the comments. You know, I want to hear what people think. That's what I pay attention to. You know, there's too many sad people who will just go through and click dislike because they don't like what you do. And that's fine. But the only time I really give any credit to that, or, you know, any merit to that, is when they give me a reason why and tell me, hey, I don't like this because this is what you do. And I understand that. And if it's something that can help me improve, I'm all over it. If it's just something that I think is, you know, BS and personal, then hey, there's nothing I can do. You know, but whenever you put yourself out there in this situation on social media, you're gonna get that. So no, it doesn't bother me. But I did, you know, go through and, you know, look to see, you know, who it was, if it was the same person every time, and it was. And hell, they don't even watch the video. So that just tells me that's all it is. But, you know, I don't pay attention to that. That doesn't matter to me. I listen to anybody that has any real criticism, that's going to help me grow, then I'm going to pay attention to it. Just like this guy's email. I paid 100% attention to it. So, this is the last time you're going to hear from me until after Christmas. So you guys have a Merry Christmas. Those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, have a happy holiday. This is the time where we celebrate family. And listen, there's nothing more important than your family. Nothing. Don't let anything tear you away from your family or tear your family apart. It's time for us to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Enjoy the fact that we are working to make ourselves better and to make the lives for our families better, and rejoice in that through this season, this holiday season. That's what this is all about. So you guys take it easy, and I will see you on Wednesday.